Hi everyone, Darren Hunter here. I am with Michael Sands. This is the Outsourced PM podcast show. Got to get that right. And Michael, today we're going to talk about 5 things to unburden your property management team with right away. I mean, far out. There's a lot of agencies out there. And Michael, I think right back in the early days, I said, Michael, when you get a phone call from an agency and a real estate boss, what is the number one pain point they usually spill out over the phone, and what is it?
Well, a lot of them just kind of spill everything out, Darren. I mean, maintenance is a massive killer for agencies. They find that it piles up. It takes 2 to 3 hours a day, and then after that, application processing.
But they're also, the team's just carrying a heavy load, right? They're all burdened. They're all under the pump, and this is it. Under the pump is such a normal thing, but what does under the pump do? The constant busy. It erodes people's goodwill in your company. They don't want to work for you anymore. They turn over, they leave the industry, it burns them out. And this has become a normal situation, a normal operational syndrome, and it doesn't need to be that way, everyone. So we're going to talk about today that if you want to unburden your team, if you want them to be doing higher, more productive tasks. Michael, what should a team be doing? When you did this with your team in Melbourne, with your 650 properties, and you had virtual assistants doing the mundane, the everyday stuff, those 80% of tasks, what were you having your office-based team focused on instead? What were they doing?
It was just, the full-timer their job was to love the client, love the landlord, like do what they could, call them, take them for coffee, be that point of contact there, that, someone who actually answered their phone call. And the part-timer was just doing, the inspection side of things. The virtual assistants were basically running the entire business.
Okay, so tell us a couple of clients that you're working with at the moment, and through their virtual assistant journey, where they've been able to offload a lot of those mundane, heavy time-based tasks their team didn't need to be doing. What are some of the results that you're seeing? What are some of what are these team members doing now?
Yeah, I mean, just before we go into that, you made a comment the other day, Darren, which was like bang on, where you got business owners and department heads of property management, companies, and they look at their team and go, gosh, they're doing a great job. They're in at 8 in the morning or 7:30 in the morning. They're leaving at 6 or 7 o'clock at night. They take the company mobile phone home in case someone rings them after hours. Gosh, I've got a great team. And and then we asked the question, so when was the last time that, you called your clients for no reason calls? Oh, we rang them about maintenance. Oh, we rang them about the statement. Oh, we rang them about this. And it's like, no. When are you communicating and engaging with your clients? Like the people that, help grow your business, give you properties to manage, and help you become a profitable agency. Because at the end of the day, you're not running a company to have a job. You're running a company and you're doing this work because you want to have more work-life balance, freedom, growth, retirement. It's not meant to grind you into the ground. Your staff are being ground into the ground from being stuck with all these time repetitious tasks. You can't have your staff have to be in early to play catch up, leave late, and just barely get to the dinner table and carrying all their stress just because they're trying to finish everything they could for the day. The purpose of, like, when you go down this outsourcing task, Darren, is to give your staff that freedom and flexibility to engage with your clients so that they can offer and extend the level of service that you're promising when your business development officer manager says, this is what we do, this is why we're great. Allow your clients that space to see that, to know your property manager, to know what's happening with their investment property. Darren, we see that one of the best referral strategies is word of mouth. We see people, we see agencies, and they, that they'll bring on an outsourced staff member, and let's say it's maintenance. How can you have a VA run maintenance for your department? It's impossible. Michael, I'm just not going to do it. What we're going to do, we're going to recruit someone on a training program. Yep, they're 19 years old. They're going to come in and they're going to be our property manager maintenance key person. They're going to go out to routine inspections. They're going to report all the maintenance.
But the truth is they bring in a young person that's and the training program that they actually do is here's your desk, here's your phone. Good luck, you're on your own. Oh, by the way, you've got 10 routines to do next week and this week. We'll just take you out to do one, but the rest of you are on your own. And oh, by the way, the phone's ringing, it's maintenance, deal with it. And they've got no experience, but they accept that as they're just normal. And all these inexperienced people learning the hard way. And that's what you really call the baptism of fire, isn't it?
Oh my gosh. I heard this story a few weeks ago, it could be a month ago, where the agency recruited a new person to help with their maintenance. Like exactly what you said, thrown in the deep end, and invoice came through, and it was electrical invoice for like $360, and it was to replace a light bulb. And the owner said to me, Michael, I got this invoice and it was $360 or $350, and it was to change a light bulb. And I said, and? He said, oh, I can't believe our team member put through that job. And I'm like, okay, but did you let them know that a light bulb is not your responsibility? It's a tenant's responsibility. And did you even check if the light bulb was actually part of the building or was it a lamp? And he's like, oh, I haven't even checked that either. And so it just goes, I mean, Darren, when we bring on a VA, okay, yes, they probably don't have like all these years of real estate experience or any real estate experience, but we look for, what are their previous skills? Are they transferable? But putting that aside, like the matrix that you had, Darren, the property management matrix, the training around it, there are key questions that anyone could ask. I could find someone on the street here, Darren. I could bring them in, sit them next to me, and give them a matrix on maintenance and ask them questions. And just from that, they will have a better idea of handling maintenance than someone, that's 18, no experience, that you're not prepared to invest the time into to show them how to do maintenance.
So let's get into this, Michael, because we're going to talk about 5 key tasks that will, probably take a huge burden off your team right away. Now, I have to say, looking at this list here, Michael, there is going to be some people listening to this that are going to have a real mindset issue and go, that can't work. That can't work. Please understand right now, Michael not only did these things with his 650 properties that he had in Melbourne with only 1.5 staff based on the ground, the rest were virtual assistants. But Michael, you're working with dozens and dozens of agencies right now with virtual assistants doing these things. So I'm just going to put the invitation out there that if you, you want to know more about this, or you've got a problem, or you still have a mindset issue or a blockage that something can't be done, just get in contact with Michael. Michael, what's the best way to people to reach out to you?
Yep, go check out our website, teamsbydesign.com, contact us and drop us a note. We'll arrange a catch up. And while you're there, go to our Instagram page too, so you can really see the culture and the type of people we have working with us.
Yeah. So let's just go through these 5 key tasks that people can do despite what you think, despite your mindset. Please understand it is, these things can be done, and they're just one mindset and one appointment with Michael away. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about application processing. So what sort of, and I think as we go along, Michael, let's just talk about one person in the office, a typical property manager does everything, is doing applications, invoices, doing arrears, doing lease renewals, and doing repairs. That's a pretty typical property manager type problem. What I want to do is each time we go through these in a typical week is supposed to be 40 hours. You and I know that's not the case, but let's just honestly go through and how much time are we saving and taking off that one person each time we get our virtual assistants doing. Let's start off with applications. And in a nutshell, how is it possible to get virtual assistants doing applications? I mean, don't they need experience?
Yeah, I mean, this was always a challenge and a mindset challenge with agencies, because they know how to pick applications on their gut. They know how to read an application, and understandably, you've got 10, 20 years experience. You can run your eyes over an application and you can say, yep, I think this has got some merit, or this is going to be terrible. The same thing applies like when processing applications. An agency, an office could say, of these 10 applications, these 3 look good. Start processing this. And then you're doing things like, the ticker, the NTD, you're looking at income serviceability, you're calling rental references, employment references, and you're doing a triage of information for the agency, then to make a decision on, is this tenant going to be good quality for our business? Your VA is not making the decision of putting this tenant into that property. They're doing all the work for you. And, we have VAs that kind of work on Saturdays and Sundays. The applications come in. And when the agency comes in on the Monday, the NTD's been done, the ticker's been done. They've already sent off the privacy pages to the other agencies. They've started that process already. And you can tell this person can't afford the property, or this person's references aren't there, or the email has already gone out to the tenant saying, hey, we need this before we can continue processing.
So the VA is really just collecting and doing all the hack work, all the legwork, and compiling all of the information together, all the relevant information, then be placed in front of the property manager for them to go, yeah, okay. And obviously a good property manager is going to know whether the information's been collected right or not as well. And so once they then have that information, they can then make a qualified choice, and it saves them a lot of time. So Michael, with the applications, what time saving do you think reasonable expectation if a agency has a virtual assistant doing that? How many hours in a week do you think the average property manager wouldn't need to be doing all of that hack work, that legwork?
It would take away 80%. I mean, there's some systems and software out there now that help with processing applications, sending out the privacy pages and sending out questions to property managers once someone applies for the property. Darren, I remember years ago when property managers used to always say, no, I've got to speak to the person and hear the quiver in their voice to make sure that I can work out if they're telling me a lie or not. And those same property managers are now sending out an email. Hi, Mr. Darren Hunter, please can you answer the following 10 questions so that I can process an application?
And they don't even speak to them.
Don't even speak to them. But still, there's got to be that person in place to connect, communicate, check, double check those questions. I mean, I know property managers out there, Darren, that lie on filling out some of those references because they just want to get rid of that tenant. There's no tone in an email when you're allowed to give one-word responses. Yes, no, unsure.
Yeah. And I know there's thorough questions, and even my EA Bev used to do and work for Teams by Design on those applications. There's a lot of thoroughness that going. And I must admit, as an old school property manager myself, I was very impressed with the level and depth that you guys go to. But again, the VAs are delivering the information to the property management team for them to go, okay, yes, we've got a good application here. All this legwork's being done, saves them so much time. But how much time in a day do you think? Is an hour saving, do you think, at least?
Depends on how many applications you've got, but if you were to average out an hour, spending on a good application, give or take, and you get 10 applications a week coming in, 10 hours, there's over 20% of your week gone. Just process.
It depends on how many properties you got, but I would think at least an hour a day, right? Of a typical property manager with, doing 3 rentals a week, 3 lettings a week, that sort of thing. So I'm going to put down 1 hour a day, which is 20 hours a month. All righty. So I want to see how high we can get with this, Michael. Okay, next, invoicing. So how can a virtual assistant do that, and how much time saving can the office expect per team member?
Yeah, look, I guess, Darren, if you were to work off an agency that's got maybe 300 managements, could be about an hour a day just on that. Of course, it's cyclical. Every quarter, you're going to get, lumped with a bunch of, water invoices and outgoings, body corporates and so on. So that'll just depend, but I would say probably about an hour a day on average. If you were to average everything out, about an hour a day entering in invoices. There are some CRMs where you can scan the invoices in, but it's really just having that human to kind of go over that, make sure everything's right and accurate. Huge time saving with invoices.
Yeah, I agree. And it is a lot more straightforward than other things as well. but it takes time. Put it into the system, and you need someone else doing that. And Michael, look, at the end of the day, everybody, this is management and leadership 101 and business 101. If you are able to get a task done by someone else just as good as what you can do, or nearly as good, and it costs much less per hour than what you cost, you are dumb if you continue doing it. That's bad business. Good business is then outsourcing it to someone else. And that's the purpose of virtual assistants. That's what Teams by Design does. Go and have a look at, up to 80% of those things that you could be outsourcing and getting done just as good, maybe even faster and more efficient than what your team can. Look at the list. There's 30 different things. Just go to teamsbydesign.tasks.com. That's teamsbydesign.tasks.com. Download it and have a look and go, should my more expensive team per hour be doing this, or should I be getting them doing on stuff that's worth it, what I'm paying them, deepening my customer relations, connecting with the owners and helping me grow my business? Certainly, if not through happy clients and taking the pressure off your staff. Now let's move, Michael. We talked about applications, invoices, and now we're coasting at 40 hours, time saving a month. Let's talk about rent arrears. And Michael, I can hear. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? I can hear it. I can hear everyone saying, how the hell can virtual assistants do rent arrears and chase lace rent? I can hear people. Let me just, Michael, in your agency of 650 properties, you told me using virtual assistants and the help of virtual assistants, you didn't have in 2 years, one tenant late even one day over a 2-year period. As an old school property manager, I'm gobsmacked that even that suggestion like that is impossible. So how, using virtual assistants, how is that possible? And what sort of time saving can be expected if they're doing a lot of the legwork?
Yeah, it's, and I don't want people listening to this thinking, oh, it's going to happen overnight. Like, we've been working with agencies who have got terrible arrears because they've let their tenants run riot. It took us a few months to kind of re-educate and get people down to that point of, no, we have zero tolerance on rent arrears, and these are the things that we can do. And that's even from like the VAs arranging change of rent due dates to fall in line with people's salary payments. So it's finding the root cause for the issue, and dealing with those tenants, the serial late payers that always pay like 10 days late, or playing the game. It's, Darren, for me, like, I saw those people that were like, being difficult as a challenge, and it was really a case of who's going to break first, and you kill them with kindness. Like, our rent approach for rent arrears was different. It wasn't bullish. It was kill them with kindness, and it was really successful. So much so that people didn't want us to contact them at all about, making sure their rent was paid. It was always paid, typically a day earlier than when it was due. The VAs were just scripted with empathy and sympathy and understanding and problem solving. And we gave them room to move, to make decisions without having to refer back to me to kind of get the job done. So they had rules that they could work within, changing rent dates. And we would have discussions with owners first saying, hey, this is what we're trying to achieve. This is what we're looking at doing. Are you okay with our strategy? So we didn't need to go back and forth.
Yeah. Okay. So in a typical week, without getting into the stuff, and again, please reach out to Michael at teamsbydesign.com and throw the big questions. If you're struggling with your mindset, how is that possible? Yes, it is possible. You just don't know how. Get in contact with Michael, throw him the difficult questions, let him explain to you how it's possible, and just go to teamsbydesign.com and contact us, or just email hello@teamsbydesign.com. I challenge you, don't stay in that bad mindset place where it's simply not the truth. That get the truth and see how virtual assistants can really unburden your team with these things here. So Michael, in a typical week, typical property manager, getting all this arrears work that virtual assistants can do, what's a time saving that's reasonable?
It's about a half hour a day. An average agency would spend on arrears.
I think so, maybe more. It depends on how much they let things get out of control, right? Because once you're down to just stamping out cigarette butts that smolder instead of dealing with bushfires. There's a much different workload there. So let's just say 10 hours a month, because I don't want people to accuse us of being unreasonable or exaggerating and sensationalizing these hours. So we're up to 50 hours now. Okay, lease renewals. Such an important process, Michael, but what can virtual assistants do here?
Yeah, I guess with the right planning, I mean, your lease renewals can be all underway. Like we would be 90 to 120 days out for our lease renewals, liaising with the tenant, what are your plans, your intentions, letting the owners know what the tenants want to do, getting their intentions, doing the CMA, working out what the market rent is, where that's starting to go, and having people secured in their lease renewal or them vacating, at the expiration of the lease.
Yeah. Okay, so in a typical month, I know lease renewals is not a big, huge, heavy, time-bound process. It can be, I guess, but compared to leasing or repairs. But what's a typical time saving do you think could be expected if the processes are done right with using lease renewals and virtual assistants?
Yeah, I think at least an hour and a half a day, depending on the size of the agency, because if you've got
one property manager managing 100 properties, let's say, what do you think a reasonable time process?
Oh yeah, half an hour to an hour a day.
Okay.
On average. But you got to remember, like if you've got like an agency that's 100, 100, then you're looking about 10 leases a month. You got the communication with the owner, communication with the tenant, preparing the documents. So yeah, it could be less. Say half an hour on average, but agencies that are 300 doors plus, there's 30 renewals a month. You're communicating with the tenant, communicating with the owner.
All right. I'm going to put down 10 hours. All right, 10 hours a month. Okay.
Yeah.
As I said, I mean, you might do more in your office. People out there listening. But again, I just don't want people to accuse us of sensationalizing this. So next one is the repairs. Oh my goodness me. I remember that would probably be 25% of my time.
The maintenance.
As a property manager. So I've seen the triage that you do, and it's an amazing tree of, problem, question, ask this, ask that. If that happens, this happens. You've got an amazing tool and knowledge library for really with anyone with no experience to come in and move up to a very efficient level very, very quickly. And please reach out to Michael if you don't believe what I'm saying. It's amazing the way Michael has done it. I mean, repairs is such an important thing, and there's so many risks giving it to inexperienced people. But Michael, bosses are giving it to inexperienced people all the time.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, maintenance would take up 25 to 30% of, the daily activities for a property manager when they're not driving on the road to routine inspections, when they're always on the road. It takes up so much time. And like we were saying earlier, you can train someone to ask the right questions. Darren, you're not an electrician. You are not a plumber. You're not a handyman.
But it takes years just to know which way to go.
Yeah, correct. But you don't know the technical ins and outs. I don't know the full technical ins and outs. We know enough, but the job of the property manager is to collect as much information as possible and give that to the professional, the one that is experienced and can actually fix it, so that you're minimizing costs by delivering the information that they need. The VA does that easy. All
right, Michael, ring.
Welcome to IGT Realty. How can I help you?
I got up this morning and I got no hot water.
Okay, perfect. So there's no hot water coming out of the tap whatsoever?
No, it's only cold. I hate cold showers.
Okay, so you have cold water coming out of the hot tap?
Yeah. There's no hot water, as I said.
Okay, perfect. And do you know if you have a gas or an electric unit?
It's gas. Yeah, I remember I had to go and do the pilot light once.
Okay, perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to get you to go out to the hot water unit, the gas hot water unit, and we're going to get you to relight the pilot light. Are you on a mobile or a landline? Can you get to the unit?
I'll just grab my phone and I'll go out there. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to work it out.
Okay, perfect. Well, just so you know, what we'll do is we're going to send you a video link to how to relight a pilot light, because we know sometimes the instructions on the back of the hot water unit might be blurred out from age, or you may not be able to understand them. So we'll send you a video on how to do it step by step. If you like, we can stay on the phone with you while you go and try to light the pilot light. Now, We can arrange to send somebody out to relight the pilot light. However, there might be a charge incurred for their service. Are you okay to try this on your own before we get started?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, but we'll give it a go.
Great. And then basically you get them to do it, and then the pilot light will be relit, and we let them know that your service may only heat up again during the day. So check later on in the afternoon if you have hot water. If you don't have hot water tomorrow, please let us know.
But, I guess there will be some inexperienced property managers out there, Michael, that will already be sending the plumber on simply there's no hot water. And that was it. There'll be no more questions, no more experience, no more probing, nothing. So, well done on that. And of course, there's a million different other things that we could go down, different rabbit holes. But the whole point is you've got all those rabbit holes mapped out. And all the different ones. And as I said, it's a sight to behold when you see the knowledge tree library, the triage that Michael has and trains his team on. And yes, the point is that virtual assistants can very successfully do 90% of those repairs, not 100%, but 90% done very effectively, relieving your team. So remember, it's just a mindset issue now. It is possible. If you're still struggling with it, call Michael, reach out at teamsbydesign.com. Just contact us there and talk to Michael about it. But Michael, I would say repairs with the average property manager is probably 2 hours a day. So are we saying, say 90, 75% or 80% of that time would be freed up? What's your guess?
Well, yeah, because it's basic triage. You're not the one on the tools going out to do the job. You're getting the information, logging the job, making sure the job's being done, following it through, speaking with the tenant, making sure the invoice is coming through, but you're not getting in the car, going to the property, relighting the pilot light, or, doing the electrical work. Yes, you can save like 80, 90% of your time.
Okay. So let's say it's an hour and a half a day. All right. So that's 3, 6, 7.5 times 4. So that's 30 hours, Michael, 30 hours in a month. All righty. So if we got one person running a position of, supposed to be doing 160 hours, I might be doing a bit more. But right now, with this exercise that we've done here, Michael, we are sitting on 90 hours. That's probably half, if not more than half, the hours. And if we then take those 5 key tasks, applications, invoices, chasing late rent or rent arrears, lease renewals and repairs, we're already unburdened the team by at least half. And the other half, Michael, is what are they going to do?
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing here is, Darren, as long as your team are bringing on between 1 and 3 managements a month because they've got more time to grow the business and love your clients, hiring a virtual assistant is covered. So just from doing the things that you should be doing and growing the business, like organically, loving your clients, that alternate cost, like it's basically costing you nothing. Like you're growing the business. Well,
I remember listening to Brian Tracy, and he talked about a law. I talk about fee laws, but he had a law that work always fills empty spaces. And it's all good and well taking 90 hours off your team, but your team can get very, very busy full time again with what they've got left if you haven't got new things for them to do. And so one of the great things about with us, because Teams by Design, of course, is partnered with Inspired Growth Training, and that if you take on a virtual assistant with Teams by Design, you're also going to get access now, a full-time position with Teams by Design, where you're going to get access to our membership, our IGT membership, which has got over 300 hours of rent roll growth training, dealing with clients, property management, time management, conflict management, communication. It's all there. It's an amazing portal, full team training in property management that you're going to be able to then get focused on, get growing your business, get that loyalty through the roof with your clients. So I really encourage you, reach out to Michael at teamsbydesign.com. Just go to contact us or hello@teamsbydesign.com. But Michael, what can I say? Working with virtual assistants done right, it's such a success story.
Yeah, huge success story. And we see this week in, week out.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you in the next podcast episode. Make sure you go to teamsbydesigntasks.com to download that list of 30 property management tasks you can easily outsource. If someone else can do it faster, more efficient than you, and even cost cheaper than your team doing it, you don't do it yourself. All right. It's a bad business decision. So thanks everyone, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode.